Get my crack though today from Fred finally. Jesus.
You're getting your what?
My crack from Fred finally.
Your
Three
crack?
That
weeks of
started
waiting.
off. That started off really bad.
I waited 3 weeks for Fred to ship my crack. Finally. Jeez. Thank you, Fred.
Yeah, I have no idea what he's talking about. Eddie, welcome
Talking
up
about
to the show.
We just let that one go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. Oddly, somewhat closer than our supposed start time than usual. We're only 3 minutes late. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Keyboard Warriors, presented by RepTheWarriors.com. My name's Eddie Law. That's Red Kirby. That's Jason Rubakawa. Hanging out, shooting shit. We're talking about DJ, man. So, it's been reported as a little more than a rumor. They're trying to trade Demetrius Johnson, former flyweight champion, he's a legend in the flyweight champion division and in MMA as a whole, to ONE FC or ONE Championships, whatever they call it now, for one Ben Askren, undefeated welterweight champion, and a guy that a lot of people have been wanting to see in the UFC. A lot of people haven't been wanting to see in the UFC. A lot of other people wanted to see in the UFC. Fred, what are you saying on this one? What are your thoughts when you heard about the trade?
All right. First off, there's a lot to fucking unpack here, man. I mean, there's a lot to think about here. We'll probably talk about this at some other point, so I'm probably jumping around, skipping shit here. But ONE just signed Eddie Alvarez too. I flat thought that was a goddamn hoax when I heard that.
Yeah.
I had to wait a long time to actually believe that Eddie Alvarez actually signed with ONE. Okay, so
Why?
that's actually,
Why?
It's just a power move, man. Well, who else has ONE signed? I mean, of that magnitude. That was just, it seemed very out of nowhere, kind of like, what the fuck, ONE? I mean, what, you wasn't surprised? Like, I feel like everybody in the world was surprised when Eddie Alvarez signed with ONE. I think we'd have been less surprised if he would have signed with the PFL, for Christ's sakes, at this point. At least they're throwing around a bunch of North American money. Like, ONE was very much like, huh?
Okay. Is it because of the exposure, or is it because of the name, or is it because of the competition?
Yeah, all three. It's because of the fact that they haven't seemed like they were in this hunt. Like, a whole bunch of people have got released from the UFC that Bellator snagged up. ONE doesn't seem like they tried to make a stab at one of them cats. So that just kind of struck me as odd once it was proved to be a fact. Now, this is fucking insanity. And I'm not even saying that I'm not here for it. I mean, I've been a known hater of the flyweight division. I've hated on Demetrius Johnson somewhat. I think you can make the point that if Demetrius was not willing to go to 35 and look, if you're the UFC and you've got DJ and DJ says, check it out, I don't want no fights at 35. I want somebody at 125. Who? Formiga? A fucking rematch? Like, you're DJ. We almost need you to go to 35 because nothing else makes sense. Nobody wants to see you fight any of these fucking guys no more. It just doesn't make sense. Now, you throw in this fucking Ben Askren thing. Ben Askren is not the most exciting fighter in the world either, but he does like to run his fucking yap.
Yeah.
And he's bigger, undefeated, in a weight division where there's a couple options for him. Okay? So, in a weird way, I can see why both parties want to do this. And apparently, it seems like ONE is attempting to they are making themselves known at the dance. No,
Yep.
Like they clearly they are an actual player now. It is no longer just the UFC and Bellator. It is now the UFC, Bellator, and ONE in a Plan C position that we all need to actually kind of respect and pay attention to. Now, this is the part of this that I don't hear nobody talking about that I find intriguing. Okay. Let's call a spade a spade. The UFC gave ONE Eddie Alvarez. I mean, I think it's safe to say that if the UFC wanted Eddie, they could have matched it and made it happen. At some point, they fell back and let ONE have that. Now, B, the UFC is going to trade ONE a fighter. Boys, we've all been watching this sport for a long time. We've seen all kinds of different regime changes. Have you motherfuckers ever heard of the UFC trading somebody?
Sort of. I mean, remember when what is it? Liddell went over to
And I knew you'd be that type of prick. That was in no way, shape, or form the same thing. They loaned Chuck to Pride for that. They didn't trade him.
What were they going to get? They were going to get a fight with Vanderlei over in Pride, and then in return, they were going to get Vanderlei in the UFC. And that ended up biting them in the ass because that never happened, correct? While Pride was still there. So
yes, I think that was the plan with that. But even this is unprecedented. This isn't even that, though. This is a flat outright trade. I guess my point that I'm making is what is going on between one and the UFC? Clearly, the UFC. Do we think right now that the UFC is going to start trading Bellator fighters? Because I don't. I don't think.
Can I tell you my theory?
I would love to hear it.
All right. So 2 things. Number 1, you got to remember that DJ is managed by his coach, and that coach is also the matchmaker, I believe, for one championship, which is Matt Hume, or he's one of the main guys over there at one.
Right.
So the connection is there. Number 2, you have to remember that lawsuit that Randy Couture and all those other guys has moved on into discovery, I believe now. And the UFC is still trying to prove that they don't have a monopoly in this space, in the MMA space. So my idea is fact that if
I think that's a stupid comment, like a monopoly. How in the fuck do they got a monopoly when Bellator just out here running shows willy-nilly all over this country? And you got the PFL. Like, what the fuck? I'm a fucking idiot, and it's not a monopoly, Jack. Like, what the fuck?
That's what you think, but you have to look at how some of the fighters view the UFC as being the one and only place where they could become a Conor McGregor, a champion. Yeah, cry me a river. I understand that, but that's what is implied in that lawsuit. Now, if you tell me that the UFC is willing to trade with another, not Bellator company, that makes it seem more like this is more of a league, right? More like an NFL type league where you have companies that are willing to trade, a fighter or two for something else and get something in return, blah, blah, blah. And I think that helps their case, as in, we don't own these fighters. They're not our employees. They're, contracted. We can trade them. We can do whatever we want with them. And I think that helps their case. So I think it's twofold, as in Demetrius Johnson, they're letting go of his division. And number 2, it also gives them kind of, this leeway in saying, well, we don't have, ironclad contracts. We have, understandings or, things that we can do to arrange people if they want to leave, blah, blah, blah.
All right. Fuck all that noise. We are all hardcore fans of this sport. Let's just assume for a moment that all this happens. DJ goes, and let's just assume for a moment that if DJ does go, they shut down flyweight. Mm-hmm. And I know that since we're all assuming at that point, we're assuming that they're going to do that 165 division and they're going to bump up 70 to 75. Hypothetically, if all these things happen, what do us as hardcore fans feel about that? Are we cool with that? Because I will jump right out in front of the bus and say, fuck it. I am cool with shutting down flyweight, starting up 165, moving 70 to 75, and having 55, 65, and 75, and then no fucking flyweight. Sure.
I'll say this. You're right, Fred. I think the argument for 165 and 175 has always been, well, we don't have roster space. We have all these divisions. We don't have space for it. Now you eliminate a whole division, everybody moves up or whatever, or you let some of these guys go. Now you have space. Now you have room to add these divisions and add a couple more fighters here and there. And you're right. I agree with you in that sense, in that we're going to get something that we want, right? We're giving up something that a lot of fans, a lot of hardcores, a lot of, we're enjoying and we're getting used to seeing, which was, some of these flyweight fights that were pretty exciting, whatever. I get it, Fred. You weren't the biggest fan. I was. I like DJ's run. And I think I said it in our little chat messaging on Twitter. Right now, DJ no longer has to worry about legacy because he has it. He holds the record for most title defenses in the UFC. Now he's just got to worry about taking care of his family. And one pays people the money because they're the biggest company over in Asia. They are just a huge market over there. That's why you see that the UFC and other organizations aren't going to Asia, because one is just the king over there. They're the UFC of the Asia market. So, I mean, DJ goes, gets money, gets paid. Us as fans, we get a 165, a 175, and the wet blanket, Ambien, Askren to fight over here and finally get some good competition and see exactly where he is. Although, you know, like I said earlier in the chat, I think a little past his prime, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, look, the lighter divisions have always done pretty well in Asia, right? And that's why I thought that them getting, you know, this DJ for Askren thing made sense. Plus, a lot of questions have been about, you know, is Askren the best 170 or like Fred said, he yaps, he talks, confident as fuck. Might not be the most exciting fighter, but definitely a dominant one. Once he gets you to the ground, you know, he's gonna beat you up a little bit on that till you give up, until he wins a decision. So as far as fights go, and the fighters themselves, I think you know, a lot of people are taking this as a kind of an equal trade. A lot of people are saying, you know, like I forgot who was it. Was it Luke Thomas? It's like not happy for DJ or whatever. He's like one championship doesn't have the best flyweight, so only the UFC can claim that. And I'm sitting here going like, yeah, but we keep bitching about the fact that there's no one for him to fight at 125. Why the fuck not move on? I get it, 135. Totally understand. Totally get it. But if he's not going to do that, fuck.
Right. Two things. A, especially if he ain't going to go to 35 deuce pieces. So, yeah. B, listen, here's the good thing about the fucking Asians, Jack. They don't mind a squash match or 7. Yeah. The Asians will watch DJ smash little Asian cans until the cows come home. Also, newsflash, guys, if the UFC does shut down the flyweight division, guess who's going to get to sign a bunch of fucking flyweights? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, all those little pricks got to go somewhere. The one that fucking can't move up to 35, they're going to fucking scatter like roaches in the daylight. So ONE FC can fucking snag a few of them, fucking line up a rematch or 2. Yeah. They'll be fucking cooking with bacon grease, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see one grab most of them probably. I mean, does Bellator have 125? I don't think they do.
I don't think they do. No. So I mean, that's a perfect market for one to just be like swoop.
Right, they just take all of them.
But let me add this. Let me infuse this into this conversation. What the UFC tried to do with the 125 division is they wanted to appeal to the markets that had smaller people. Mexican, Latin Americans, we're not the biggest people in the world. We're a lot smaller. The Asian market, a lot smaller. And that's what they did that division for. It didn't go anywhere because they didn't go back to Mexico. They didn't go back to Asia as often. And so now that they see that there's these other companies that are killing it in that market and they cannot compete, now they got to let this division go and they can add a 165 or whatever they need to do to compete in the market that we have here, which is, you know, most of the North American, Canada, you know, some of Europe, whatever. And I think this is where whatchamacallit, a Combate Americas, a ONE, even the PFL, those guys are going to benefit because the PFL, especially because at the end of this year, they're going to, you know, write out, what is it, $7 or $9 million checks to fighters over there. What is it? 7 divisions, right? Is it 7 divisions?
There you go. Blow that fucking money, PFL. Good idea.
But right. But at least it gives the fighters an option to go somewhere where they might be more appreciated. In my opinion, I think the only person that is going to not benefit from this is Henry Cejudo, because he's a newly crowned champion who barely won the title, and now they're asking him to move up and fight another vicious, you know, badass fighter in, you know, TJ Dillashaw, who's probably going to wreck shop and you know, send him packing as well. Hopefully, either he sees, you know, greener pastures and goes to Combate, who has a very strong presence in Mexico. And, you know, I mean, they can do a lot of things with Henry Cejudo over there, or do the DJ route, get paid, go to ONE, and, you know, just be like a Ben Askren, get paid, not even worry about, and just smash a bunch of cans that don't know how to wrestle.
I'll tell you what, all them little fuckers at 35 and 45 better take note, Jack. Y'all start motherfucking getting too cute and not putting asses in seat, they'll fold the whole fucking division on y'all.
Yeah, there you go. Shit. Real quick, Frederick in the comments says, and I agree with him. He says, I say, cool, make that bread. Fuck yeah, get paid. DJ's gonna go get that money. And look, what has DJ been wanting for a long time? He want to get paid. right? What he feels he deserves.
And look, to keep it a buck, say they line up GSP versus Ben Askren. That fight is going to make more money than DJ could have made the UFC in his next 3 or 4 fights, no matter who he fought. So it's like, fuck it. It's a win-win for everybody. DJ, go over there, smash some cans, get paid the most money of your career. We'll take Ben Askren, probably give him George St. Pierre or Colby Covington, give him some kind of a big fight that's going to generate more numbers than rightfully or wrongly DJ could have generated against anybody. The only fight that was going to generate any numbers with DJ was TJ. That's it. And he didn't want that smoke. Period.
Well, okay. Let me ask you guys this though. I don't know if you guys heard. I think it was Chiesa had this pretty good idea. I mean, every once in a while there has a good idea.
Grand Prix you was talking about?
Grand Prix, no.
Not Grand Prix, like a tournament type of deal.
No, not that either.
Let me pull up his tweet. Hold up. Go ahead.
Well, I think it was Chiesa. It might have been somebody else.
It was Chiesa, yeah.
Basically, what he said was have GSP fight Tyron Woodley, for the title. Whoever wins, basically, hopefully you want it to be, you'd kind of want it to be GSP, just so because the first thing GSP is going to do is going to drop that title, retire again. Then that's when you fold the 170-pound division and turn it into the 175. Basically, you make one last fight. Basically for all the marbles, all the accolades of who's the best 170er there ever is going to be. And then after that, you can fold the division and turn it into the 175, and then you have the 165, and you start basically fresh. Unless it's Tyron Woodley, and then I guess you gotta give him a 175 title, or whatever. But I mean, to me, that sounds like one of the best ways to kind of end that division. Is having the all-time king of the division come back and prove that to everybody that he is the best at that weight, and then fold that division, never again to be contested.
Yeah, I know. Here's his tweet. Michael Chiesa, it was like 5 hours ago. He says, "Okay, I put my tinfoil hat on for a moment, and it came to me. 4-man UFC welterweight Grand Prix. Woodley vs. Covington, and then Askren vs. GSP. Winners face off to fight for the championship and welterweight GOAT status. Who do you think wins?" The only problem I see is I don't. Who knows if Woodley and Askren would fight each other because they're friends. I don't think that would happen. I mean, Askren was worked with Woodley for every single camp since he's been champion. I'm pretty sure.
Which is why I was saying just do Woodley, GSP, because again, if you're doing a tournament style, we all know this. You cannot guarantee the results. It's a game. Something could happen. And one of those matchups just ends up getting screwed up. Someone gets hurt. We don't get what we want. Just do what we want right at the beginning. Sign up that matchup and let's just move on.
Man, what in the fuck are we talking about? Now Woodley won't fight Askren?
No, they've been training partners for years.
Man, I don't give a fuck if they came out of the same pussy. I'm getting sick and tired of this bullshit. What the fuck do we sign this prick for then? Who the fuck is Askren? If GSP does fight Tyron Woodley, who the fuck is going to fight Askren now that we just gave away Mighty Mouse for him? I know Mighty Mouse is being difficult and his division is shit, but maybe we could have forced him to fight somebody at 35. Like, if that's not the case, who the fuck is Askren going to fight? He better fight GSP.
Covington or Kamaru, right?
But here's the idea. That's the idea of Chiesa's tweet. He goes, that would be the end of 170. That's when you guys were talking about splitting that division. So then Askren will probably go to 65. And then there's a lot of matches there, and then Woodley can stay at 75. I'm not saying create a division just for Askren. I'm saying they've been talking about making that division from the fucking for a while now. But the only reason I would say that Woodley and Askren want to fight is because Askren is Woodley's wrestling coach at this point. You know what I mean? It's kind of difficult to make that. Not necessarily that they're friends. We've seen Woodley fight guys from his own team. Fucking, he took his title from Robbie Lawler.
Damn it, John Jones fought Rashad Evans. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You understand me?
It might happen. You never know.
No, they've talked about it before. They said that they would never fight. They've said nothing on this earth could ever make them fight.
All it takes is one guy to go, fuck it, I'll fight him. That's what happened with John Jones. John says, yeah, I'll fight him. And then Rashad got upset.
Like, fuck Ben Askren, Jack.
Can you imagine if he did that? He might actually get a little bit of a payday. I'm talking shit. Fuck Ben Askren.
My fucking nickels. Maybe you should make a diss track about him. Ben Askren is disgusting looking.
Yeah.
Hey, that I'll beat your ass track. That's fire right now, right?
Dude, that was so god awful.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, man.
I beat your ass. I beat your ass. I'm like, will you, mother? God damn. All right, shout out to Jeremiah in the comment section. Raider Jet, what up? And of course, Frederick hanging out. So, all right. So as far as Eddie Alvarez going to 1, and Fred, you said that kind of caught you by surprise. You didn't think for a second that was going to happen. Now, 155 is still pretty strong here in the UFC, but Eddie Alvarez is one of those guys that made you think like, shit, 155 is fire. He goes off to 1, and obviously more than likely it's because he's getting paid over there. He said he's like, oh, because I haven't held the belt in 1. It's because you're getting paid, and you should go do it, right? Not to mention, take the lady that screams at your fucking fights every goddamn time. Take her with you. Take her with you. I will not miss that whatsoever. But did the UFC kind of drop the ball here, Fred, or let him go?
Nah, man. I mean, the UFC's let go of a lot of other cats in the more prime of their career. They let go of Roy McDonald. They let go of Andrei Arlovsky at a very pivotal moment a month of Sundays ago. I know all you youngins might not remember that, but there was a point in time where they let Andre go coming off a big win over Fabricio Verdum, if I'm not mistaken. It was that long ago.
Right.
I think. They've let some cats go that they didn't necessarily want to let go before. I don't think this will hurt that bad. And, in a weird way, man, Eddie Alvarez always seemed like a guest in the UFC, didn't he? He made his bones outside the UFC and shit. This just he made some of his more memorable, better fight. Well, I shouldn't say better, but some of his more memorable fights were in Bellator with Michael Chandler. Or even fucking in, what was it, Dream? There towards the end of the fucking the JMMA era before we had this whole ONE FC thing. It makes a little bit of sense that he would go over there and do his thing. And what the fuck? Who has any fault in the UFC? For some reason, it doesn't bother me that much that he's going. I guess the UFC still got a bunch of talent at 55. I feel like I've seen Eddie fight most of those dudes. Like, Nate Diaz is the only one that's jumping out. Like Nate and Eddie would have been fun. But beyond that, was there a fight at lightweight with Eddie Alvarez that we were all just dying to see?
Not really. I mean, not that I could think of.
Look, are there fun fights for Eddie in the UFC? Absolutely. But like anything like unfinished business per se, like, I ain't really mad at it. He's trying to get paid. And like I said, clearly ONE seems like they're trying to actually make a move in the market. So let's see what happens. Fuck it.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, that you have to think of what Eddie Alvarez has accomplished. He's been a UFC champ, Strikeforce champ, a Bellator champ, Dream champ. There's another one. I forget what the other belt that he held as well.
Pretty much everyone can be owned. Yeah. He can fucking own.
Yeah. So, I mean, at this point, if he says that he wants to just collect another belt, I mean, you got to ride with that, right? Like, even if we all know that it's basically about competition and money, I think he understands himself that he's not going to get another crack at 155 UFC title, and I'm pretty sure the same way that they did Benson, where basically they told him, hey, yeah, we'll pay you a lot. All you got to do is just win the title, and then we'll pay you this much. And Benson understood that. Well, that's not fair because you decide whether I get a title shot or not. So you could just never give me a title shot and I'll never get paid. And I think that's probably the same thing with Eddie Alvarez. He was able to lean on the company and on his name and be able to get, what was it, the Tough series and then a title shot, got his title, and all that stuff. And I think now he understood that he wasn't going to be able to get some kind of good contract out of it. And he's just going to go get paid, man. So good for him. He's also, I think they also said he's going to be an ambassador for ONE. So, man, get paid, dude. Like Eddie, like our boy Eddie always says, man, you can't hate on people when they want to get paid. So.
Exactly. I mean, I say go for it, dude. Fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I said, I don't feel like we're missing a whole lot. Like, could you make fun fights for sure? But it doesn't, like, he became the champion. He lost the belt. Like, could he maybe make another run? Maybe, but like, yeah, I feel like it's I don't want to say easy to let him go, but like, I'm not crying over it. You know what I mean?
55 is deep, man. 55 is deep. They'll be all right.
Could we compare him to like a Ryan Bader or a Musasi, someone that like kind of had his run in the UFC? We saw where it was going, and him going to a different organization is probably going to be better for him. Is that kind of what we're looking at here? We're like, we're not going to miss him too much, and then he makes his own name somewhere else.
I guess. I mean, look, dude, ONE FC is on at like 1 in the morning. I'm not going to be waking up to see that, no matter who Eddie Alvarez fights. So I'm not sure how much
Nah, I
mean, as far
mean,
as the American fans.
yeah, it is a different landscape now, man. There was a time when there were some stars in Asia still, but like,
okay. So
that being said, he's not going to get the disrespect he gets here. Okay,
he's gonna make a lot of money, man. To make a lot of money,
and he had a ton of respect. Those Asian fans are, they're different.
Yeah, easier fights and shit too.
Yeah.
All right.
He could be the Underground King again.
Are you gonna tune in for his trilogy fight against Shinya Aoki? Because ONE does own his contract. He has fought for them.
That's right.
So is that something that at least would entice you to go watch at least just one fight of his and then basically forget about?
I would set my alarm for that one. I would set my alarm
for sure.
Yeah,
that's fun. I would be down for that.
It'd be great if they got Michael Chandler too over at ONE and those two fighting over there.
Yeah, that definitely. Oh my God! Happening. But they will find some fun fights for Eddie. One thing about the Asians, they'll make the fights fun. There'll be fun fights for Demetrius over there too. Make no mistake about it. Like, he might get a couple tomato cans, but they'll find somebody fun for him to fight. Like
a couple. Don't you mean that's where they produce tomato cans? I mean, look at Ben Askren. What was his toughest fight over at ONE? I mean, the toughest fight was the scales, and then they switched all that, and he never had a problem with that anymore. So, I mean, like you guys said, what competition are they really going to have for him? I mean, Eddie Alvarez, the only one I see is Shinya Aoki, and that's a great fight in my opinion. Still,
yeah. No, like I said, I would definitely tune in for that one. Right, that's a fucking sick fight. No matter if they're taking this long to get the third one. All right, let's talk Khabib and Conor. So today, Nevada State Athletic Commission. Real quick, my other point that I completely forgot about right now on that ONE FC thing, or ONE Championship things, what they call themselves now. I think they've had enough of watching UFC and Bellator go back and forth with each other. Like Fred was making this point earlier, and now ONE is like, all right, it's gonna be ours, and we got to make some noise. We got the money, let's make it happen. So they're taking their shot to let's compete with Bellator at this point. So we'll get to see, and we'll talk about the Bellator Heavyweight Grand Prix here in a minute, because we got to talk about the final. But all right, Khabib and Conor. Here's your weekly Khabib and Conor news there for you guys. So go ahead and start clickbaiting this shit. So Khabib's gonna get half his disclosed purse. So disclosed purse with $2 million. They're only keeping half of it now for now, which to me is stealing money, but that's just it's an opinion, I guess. So
no. Say it correctly how they worded it, because they didn't say they were gonna, what was it, hold it for safekeeping?
Oh yeah, not only that, not only are they not giving him $2 million, they let go of $1 million to go to Khabib free and clear now, right? But they're going but the UFC is going to transfer the other $1 million over to us for safekeeping. like the UFC is going to sneak it over to Khabib or some shit. Fuck is that? That's a gall. The fucking balls on the Nevada State Athletic Commission, man. And some of the characters in that commission are fucking just douches. Murnell's like top of that list. But what the fuck, really? That's thievery. It's stealing.
Okay, my only problem with the whole commission thing was, and it was a surprise to me, is that they can actually take all his money, even pay-per-view point money. They can take everything from a fighter.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that before?
I heard of them actually doing it. I actually never heard of the fact that they can do it. But that was the first point they made almost. Like, one of the first points was, we could just keep the whole thing. Like, everything. And that, to me, that's like a power, like, douchebag move. Like, look, man, here, take this little $1 million here. We can keep all, but we're going to have you this one. Let you have this one for now. Like, the athletic commission at this point are kind of a joke. Like, all of them are kind of a joke, right? Because they're not, at least as far as the UFC goes, they're not really policing the PED stuff anymore, right, Chasada? And then they take forever to sanction things and figure shit out. Not all of them have adopted the new rules out of ego or whatever the fuck you want to call it. These are all a bunch of bullshit. But Fred, keeping the other $1 million, plus he hasn't gotten his pay-per-view money and all that shit. Obviously, the numbers still coming in. Your thoughts on just giving him his $1 million? And I'll go over the rest of what they said here in a minute.
I mean, it's fucked up, but I suppose he should be glad he's getting something, Jack.
Yeah,
they could just keep all that shit. I mean, what we gonna do? What would anybody do? Everybody likes to run that fucking mouth, but this was Vegas, man.
right.
You gonna not fight in Vegas again? They can set the precedent damn near anywhere. And you know, I put something about like Habib when he was threatening about leaving the UFC. I put a little video up online. As so many people like popping up, like it's not about the money for Habib. Habib's a different type of. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe
we will see.
Maybe Habib will go to the mountains and just eat lettuce for years to come and not care about the money. Maybe he will. Maybe he is that guy. Maybe, and I'm not really trying to be funny, but maybe he ain't. Maybe we don't know who the fuck he is. Maybe at the end of the day, he does care about getting paid. Maybe this is just the way it goes, and they are the power at B. You fucked up. Sometimes it stings bad. Depending on where, you know what I mean? My uncle just did motherfucking 12 years in the penitentiary on one bad night. He fucked up. He made a real bad mistake, but you can't take it back. Motherfucker, when you went flying over the cage and you incited a riot and your homeboys jumped in the ring and it started attacking UFC fighters, you fucked up. That sucks. I know you're sorry now, but goddamn it, they're the ones with the power and you fucked up, big dog. So shit, the way I see it, you got $1 million cash.
Yeah. You got
and you're going to get to fight again. And it's going to, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, this shit is kind of a moot point, right? Like, yeah, he missing out on a lot of money, but he got a lot of money. He's worth a lot of money. Like, as long as he's not dead or in jail, he could go back to Russia and do fucking spearmint commercials and probably get a few $100,000 a whop. Right. So, like, money ain't going to be the issue with this. Like, he going to be all right.
And also remember, as soon as he got back to Dagestan or whatever, he was already, you know, having a lunch with Putin and what was it, Kadyrov? And I think wasn't Kadyrov the one that gave him that that car as well?
Yeah, the Mercedes. Yeah.
I mean, so look, Fred, you're right. Like, he could be the guy that just doesn't care about money, but he could also be the guy that is under the thumb of somebody else who keeps him well enough paid and threatened that he can't care about the money that he might be losing. You know, it might be all about just keeping respect and keeping, you know, I mean, just staying undefeated, being the badass, being a focal point for, you know, Russian people. And I think that might be more important to the people that, you know, maybe run his life and make him do the things he doesn't want to do or does want to do. You know, so that might be more important to him.
Well, either way, then those cats should have had a long talk with him before about not jumping over the cage and fucking up that money. Shit.
Shouldn't have jumped that shit. So in regards, this is from I think MMAfighting.com. It says right here in their little article. It says, in regards to the 10-day suspensions that McGregor and Nurmagomedov received for their actions following the fight, the commission voted to extend the suspensions throughout the course of the investigation into the events of the of October 6th, which is obviously when the fight went down. Further sanctions are expected to be ruled on when the commission meets again December 10th. These may include the seizure of a greater percentage of Habib's purse, which is estimated to be between $5 and $6 million after the bonus, after pay-per-view points and all that is accounted for, and also a monetary penalty for McGregor. Anthony Marnell, who's the chair of NSAC, you know, the show I was talking about, he said that he had seen the footage of McGregor's involvement in the incident, which saw McGregor exchange punches with Habib's teammates on top of and inside the cage. And he's basically saying that had they seen that footage that night, they would have held on to McGregor's money as well, which would have raised more hell. That would have raised way more hell than Habib keeping his, you know, and then keeping Habib's money.
Remember the footage of him on the cage throwing the first punch, basically, because I mean, I'm sure they saw everything else of him fighting in the cage. It's the fact that he threw the first punch. They when they first suspended and did all this stuff, they hadn't seen, or they said that McGregor didn't do anything to instigate. He was just defending himself. So that top of the cage footage is what they're talking about. But Eddie, the other thing too is the fact that both McGregor and Khabib are going to be at that meeting. What did you say? December 10th, correct?
Yeah. So that's a great fucking idea. Put them both in another room.
Man, listen.
So that's going to get fun.
Man, listen. Here's a little fun fact too. At the end of the day, life ain't fair, right? if they don't fight each other, if Conor fights anybody else, right, and Habib fights fucking Tony Ferguson next, who sells more pay-per-views?
Wait. What? Habib and McGregor fight?
If Habib fights Tony Ferguson next,
Okay.
and Conor fights, to be announced,
Okay.
Anthony fucking Pettis, whoever the fuck,
Right.
who sells more pay-per-views?
McGregor has some more pay-per-views.
There you go. So yeah. Maybe it was because they didn't see that footage. Maybe they didn't hold his money because he's still a bigger draw. Maybe they'll let Floyd fucking kill 3 hookers in Vegas and still air his next fight because he gonna sell 100. You know what I mean? Like,
don't you
what it is, dog. It's like life's not fair. They did that shit because Conor's Conor. Habib, bro, you spoke out of turn. You ain't that dude yet. Not yet. You kind of almost trying to be, but you ain't quite that dude yet. So they're gonna spank your ass, Jack.
But don't you think it's also a fine line? Because if, let's say, the NAC tries to grow some balls and sanction McGregor, don't you think what happened last time, they should have learned from that about doing anything against McGregor? Because remember last time they said that they weren't going to license him, they were going to suspend him, all this stuff for throwing the water bottles, and what they end up doing? Actually, can you just make some PSAs for us, some commercials? Yeah, we're good with that. We're not going to fine you. Come on, McGregor. Yeah. So I think that's the same thing. I think McGregor's going to actually help Khabib in this situation. If they try to lump McGregor in with Khabib, I think the sanction's going to be so minimal for McGregor, because they know that if they sanction him too hard,
look,
McGregor could just say, hey, I'll just fight at MSG. I'll just fight somewhere else. And then Vegas is out some money. So,
let me save all y'all a bunch of Googling hours, man. The fucking Nevada State Athletic Commission ain't no different than any other fucking human cocksucker walking this planet. You know what they want? Money, 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 and more of it. So they're going to find cocksuckers. They're going to do all they can do. But what they ultimately want is their funny foreign asses in there kicking the shit out of each other, making even more money for their city and state. Like, that's all it's about. That's all it matters. So that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to spin this to where they can find them the hardest, make as much money possible, sanction them, or rather keep them out of action for as little as possible, as least as possible. Look no further than John Jones. Like, all these clowns are just trying to get that fucking money. And it is what it is, man. It is what it is. This is what it's come down to.
How about this, Fred? What if on November 10th, what they do is they make a deal with the UFC and both Khabib and McGregor, and then say, okay, as long as you guys have the rematch here in Vegas, we'll lower the sanctions. We'll give Khabib, some more money back, or he'll get the rest of his money. And hey, we'll just announce Khabib Conor 2 right now here in Vegas in, a couple months.
Listen, in a day and age where the UFC's trading fighters like goddamn packets of bubble gum, motherfuckers are getting heavyweight title shots because their goddamn balls are hot. Fuck yeah. Sounds right on par for the course for me, Jack. But wouldn't surprise me one fucking iota, not even a little bit.
Well, what was the boxing match where, like, right after the fight, they already had the poster for the second fight? Like, that's what I see happening. Like, Canelo? Right after, like,
the Canelo fight when he fought.
I could just see, like, freaking Dana White walking out there with the poster and putting it in front of the NSAC's table and being like, oh yeah, we're here to announce, the rematch in Vegas in a couple of months.
Yeah. It'll be sponsored by the state board, the athletic committee.
Yeah, sponsored by NSFC and then Proper 12.
Yeah, Proper 12.
By the way, I finally got to try that shit. One of my friends has a bottle.
Trash, right?
Not a fan. Gross. Not even gross. It just tasted like weak whiskey. Like they barely tried.
That's soft. It hasn't aged long enough. Wait a couple years to where that reserve ages a little bit longer, and it'll probably taste better. It'll get better with age.
That being said, genius fucking marketing. I mean, they sold out everywhere of that shit, and now that everyone's been like trashing it on reviews and shit, that'll probably slow down a little bit. Not a whole lot, but it'll slow down anyway. But yeah, now I can actually say it's not good at all. You might as well just spend a little bit more, get yourself some of that, I don't know, Jack Daniels, whatever you want to get. All right. Anyway, all right, let's talk. As far as McGregor goes. What?
Oh no.
Oh,
Before you move on to the weekend events, I just want to point out about Combate Americas. But go ahead. What you were
All
going
right,
to say
no, go
about
ahead, good.
Connor?
No,
Go.
I was going to talk about the fact that people are going to freak out if they keep his money more than they're going to freak out about Habib. But what were you saying about
Oh yeah,
Combate Americas?
that's definitely what's going to happen. But so Combate Americas again, guys, on DAZN. If you want to listen to the English broadcast on DAZN, you get to watch it there live from Mexico, Guadalajara, Mexico, actually from my mom's home state. They're having a pretty good event, main event there. Marco Antonio El Pedillo against Enrique, I think it's El Marroquín, or maybe Pepper, something like that, Marin. Both of these guys, seen them before, seen them fight, Marin fight live. Man, those two guys, it's going to be a firefight. What else? On this card, we also have one of our previous guests on the show, Brenda Enriquez. She's back in action against Alizez Mariscal.
Little Hands of Stone.
Little Hands of Stone.
Finally got yourself at full camp. Damn it! With all these last second, I love it. She takes these last second fights. It's great, right? But man, that weight cut's got to get her a little bit, right? But I've always been hoping. I'm like, she always like. I mean, look, tough chick. Always wants to jump in last second. But I'm like, please get yourself a full camp, chick. Please get yourself a full camp. Finally got one, right? So good shit.
Yeah, that was the good part about this whole thing. You know, she took the time off and now she's coming back in Mexico. So, and the other fighter I wanted to point out was Marcelo Rojo, another guy that I've seen fight before. Very, very good striking. You know, good mixture of wrestling as well, jiu-jitsu guys. So, if you guys can go on DAZN. I know a lot of you guys have it because of the Bellator, because of Canelo. It's on there. You can watch it. It's in English. It's great. It's just a fun night of fights.
When is that again?
On Friday.
This Friday.
They're having the weigh-ins tomorrow at some hotel in Mexico. If you know anybody is Mexican in Mexico listening right now,
that sounds safe.
Hey, look, the only complaint I have about Combate Americas right now, which we can address next week when we have I think it's their COO of the company, Mike Afrimowitz.
Yeah.
The only complaint I have is they got rid of Andrea Calle. It's the only complaint I have. They improved the English broadcast with the broadcast.
I didn't hear about this shit. Time out, stop. I didn't hear about that. What the fuck happened?
I have no idea. We got to talk to Mike.
Hey, Jack, we might not be having this cat on.
Yeah, he might have got into a ban. What the fuck happened?
I don't know. I didn't get too many details from Andrea. She just said that she's moving on from MMA. So don't know.
Well, shit, that just means it's another spot on the team. You understand me?
Honestly, on the Spanish side of broadcasting, she was one of my favorites. She actually has a decent amount of knowledge in MMA. She's been covering MMA for a long time, and she's not too bad to look at. So I mean, you know, that to me that was an asset that they lost out on. But I mean, I don't know what happened, negotiation, whatever. So, but I do know that the English broadcasting, they really did amp it up. Me and Eddie were trying to figure out who was the announcer or who was the commentator on this last event in Arizona. I'm pretty sure it was one of the ex-Bellator guys, but he did a great job. As always, you know, when you compare a good broadcaster to someone that's starting out, it's just night and day, and you can tell the difference. But whoever that guy was, shout out to that guy. He definitely brought that professionalism to that broadcast.
Yeah, dude. Last time she tweeted about anything MMA related was like September 11th last week. No, September 15th. Yeah, dude, that's weird that they kicked her out. What the or you know, let her go. Okay, hey, fuck it. Do what you got to do. UFC will take her. Anyway, yeah, no. As far as the event in Guadalajara, right?
Yeah,
my hometown. That's a great spot to have an event, to be honest with you. So it's yeah. Nah, dude, it's not. Like, if you go to the wrong parts, it's a little shitty. But
well, that's anywhere though.
That's anywhere. But as far as like the state of Mexico goes, like It's not a bad spot to go to. And if you go to Mexico City, there's quite a few spots you don't want to fucking find yourself in. You've got a lot of spots you don't want to find yourself in.
I got a whole fucking theory on Mexico and this wall, but don't get me started on that, or we'll be off of this fucking.
All right.
I might make that the question of the night for Fred.
Go ahead, and I'll solve everybody's fucking problems real quick in about 6 minutes at the end of the show. So stick around for that. No need for a fucking wall.
Yeah, real quick, let's just stick to MMA till the end, then we can bring them with the wall shit. Now I'm fucking curious. Shout out to Dave Madden in the comments. What's up, dude? And
Dave Madden be having me rolling in the morning with his memes, dog.
Dude,
Dave Madden must sit around with a blank slate. As soon as some shit happened, he got Dana White memed up.
Dude, quick with it. Man,
I'm telling you, man. I don't never do no endorsement type shit. Go follow Dave Madden. If you are a fan of MMA, you're gonna fuck with his fucking memes, man.
Yeah, I don't know how he's so quick with it. I guess maybe I'm just not. I don't know. I'd laugh every time though. He's put up some good shit. So definitely go check him out. Jeremiah says, "I see you, Fred Kirby. Christine Leahy is fine, right? Christine Leahy is that blonde chick from she was on Colin Cowherd's show. Now she has her own show on Fox, on Fox Sports. That's kind of unwatchable, but yeah, she's a good looking chick. Put a shout out to Priya Rose in the comment section, and she says, "Did y'all go over Connor's feedback on the fight yet?"
Oh, no, we have not.
We did not. I just read it today. It came out like 2-3 days ago, whatever it was. All these articles came out on it, so I ignored the fuck out of it. Then I read it, and I thought it was it was pretty humble, like breakdown of his own fight, right? Whatever.
But can we admit that this is what he does all the time?
It's what he does whenever he loses. Whenever he wins, you don't see him breaking down shit.
No, but in defeat, he's always really, really understanding of what he did right, what he did wrong, where the fight got away from him, and he's quick to admit where his flaws are and how to fix them. So, I mean, to me, I wasn't surprised that he did this. I'm surprised that it took so long, but I'm not surprised that he did this. This is the Conor McGregor that I enjoy, the guy that is a martial artist, understands where his flaws are, finds them, fixes them, tries to get better.
Listen, I am an unabashed Conor Nuthugger, and I agreed with about 67.5% of what he wrote there. There was a couple things that was complete fucking hogwash. His explanation of the first round.
Yeah, I didn't
know. God damn it. I've been singing something since that fight happened, and I will fucking die with it. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. He got cute, and he thought he was going to grapple with Khabib. When he took his little stupid hand and he reached it under Khabib's leg like he was going to play with his butthole, that was the fucking worst idea he ever had. Don't give me no bullshit about I was trying to engage. He won the sporting part. I won the... You didn't win shit.
Fuck, if we're gonna do this, let me read his fucking round one post. Cool?
Okay, go ahead.
He goes, all right, this is his post on. You can go to his fucking Instagram and
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm sorry, but I'm going to probably chime in when I've had enough because there are certain parts where I'm like,
shit. Go ahead. So he goes, round one, I believe from a sports standpoint, round one was his. Talking about Khabib. Top position against defense, 0 position advancement or damage inflicted, but top position. From a fight standpoint, the first round is mine. What?
I don't know what he means by that. I don't know what he means by that.
He's going by the Nick Diaz rule. If we were in an alley fighting, you'd be dead. You know that. I'm guessing
that's a bad rule because in the alley he's still on his back getting thunderstruck. So
in the alley, fucking Khabib's got like 1,000 Russians fucking him up. All right, actual shots landed and in willingness to engage. Straight left early, needed the head on the low shot. Elbows in any and all tie-up scenarios. Opponent just holding the legs against the fence for almost the entire round. I don't know where he thinks he won that.
I mean, either way, like a fighting standpoint, my dickhole, y'all are fucking in a goddamn fight.
An MMA fight.
Of a sporting wait. You lost the fucking round, man. You tried to fucking grapple with it. See, this was my problem. He's neglecting the fact that he fucking engaged him in the grab. Look, he is right. He did land the knee. He could have pushed his fucking head down and jumped out of that situation, but he decided to check Khabib's oil.
Yep.
Bad bad fucking decision, man. I will live and die with that shit. He lost that first round right then. Had he fucking pushed his head down and jumped the fuck back, we would have seen what happened.
Fred, do you think, because a lot of has been analyzed and overanalyzed about his post, Eddie, where is it? Is it at the beginning or at the end where he talks about believe in your game plan or in your skills, don't listen to other people?
Towards the end, I think.
Is it at the end? Okay. Do you guys think that specific line is in regards to him allowing other people to influence what his game plan was and how his game plan actually materialized? And like Fred is saying, him attempting to go for the grappling, him attempting to not be as aggressive as he normally is. This is what he attributes to his loss, more so than because it came out that there was a lot of people in the back with him. Kavanaugh didn't wrap his hands. It was somebody else. Who was it? Artem wasn't in his corner either. It was some other people. So the people that he normally has in his corner were not in his corner. There's a lot of weird things about Conor's fight, into the fight. So do you think that specific line is just basically to himself saying, hey man, don't do what you did in this last fight. You know what brought you to the dance. You know what you got to do. Fred, the resident Conor nut hugger?
Maybe. I mean, to keep it a fucking buck, man, it kind of just sounded like he was somewhat making excuses and deflecting a little bit, man. His explanation of the first round was kind of some bullshit. He did say a little bit of truth in the second round, summing it up a little bit. He said like that he got caught. He didn't respect his stand-up. I do agree with him there. Like I said, first round, he tried to engage in the grappling. Bad idea. Plus, you got some wind sucked out of your tank. And the second round, you came out and you was still kind of on this cloud where I guess you just thought you were going to fucking be in the Matrix, and he wasn't. And he knocked the fuck out of you because you had your hands at your hips. And again, before everybody says that's always the way he fights, I don't give a shit. Every fight requires different things. Yep. This is his most dangerous foe yet. That shit might have worked against Eddie Alvarez, might have worked against Jose Aldo, might have worked against Chad Mendez. So what, motherfucker? Don't mean that you need to keep fucking getting cute with it. Again, I point to Anderson Silva. Yeah, man, you might have done that against Forrest Griffin. You might have did your cute little thing against fucking Vitor Belfort, but you got cute one too many times, and Chris Weidman knocked your funny ass out. I truly believe that we saw a taste of that, man. Conor didn't really wake up till round 3, which he did somewhat acknowledge in his little breakdown. Like I said, I believe some of it, but some of it, I felt like the points where he really fucked up, he didn't just own that he fucked up and admit that he in his terms, traveled into a part of the game that he was not inept in, because that's the truth. He traveled into Khabib's game, and no matter how much he fucking trains grappling or wrestling, he will never pull that little stuff that he tried to pull on Khabib, ever. Could he knock him out? Maybe, but he ain't going to out-grapple him.
Right. Okay. And I'm with you. When he engaged the grappling, was a bad idea. Let me read the round 2 post real quick. Yeah. All right. He says, round 2, he is running away. Made me laugh because I said he was running away against Nate in the second fight, but everyone was like, no, he's resetting. Shut the fuck up. All right, he's running. All right. Round 2, he is running away around the cage before being blessed with the right hand that changed the course of the fight. The course of the round and the fight. It was nice. It was a nice shot. After the shot, I bounced back up to engage instantly, but again, he dipped under to disengage. That is a sport, and it was a smart move that led to a dominant round, so no issue. Well played. If I stay switched on and give his stand-up even a little more respect, that right hand never gets close, and we are talking completely different now. I gave his upright fighting no respect and preparation, no specific stand-up spars whatsoever, attacking grapplers, wrestlers only. That won't happen again. I also gave my attacking grappling no respect. To defensive-minded. Lessons. Listen to nobody but yourself on your skill set, this is where Jesse was talking about with that believe in yourself shit. He goes, listen to nobody but yourself on your skill set. You are the master of your own universe. I am the master of this. I must take my own advice. Sounding like some fucking The Secret shit, but fair enough.
Listen, there towards the end of it, he started getting to the nitty-gritty. This whole bullshit with he was blessed with the right hand. Who blessed him? Fucking Allah. All of a sudden Allah is real? He didn't get blessed. You fucking had your hands down. You didn't respect his stand-up, and he thunderstruck you upside your head for it. I mean, that he wasn't blessed with the right hand, Conor. Right. You were lacking. You were not taking that shit seriously, and he fucking popped you for it. And yeah, listen, Conor's recovery was quite decent, but like he said, maybe if he stayed switched on, I tend to agree with that. Had Conor been Conor, and do I think Conor would have got caught with that punch in the third round, like switched on like he was? No. Because in the third round, you could tell the difference. You could see it when he came out in the third round. It's like, okay, fuck. Now, you know what I mean? Like, he was there finally. Like, okay, you're not going to do that shit again. Motherfucker, you should have been doing that. You think this shit's a joke? Like, I swear I just think he started buying into his own hype. This guy really is just been crushing cans. You know what I mean? Like, he did not give him the respect that he deserved. That's
exactly. No, exactly. And you're right. He came out in the third round like, oh shit, he's got some hands. I better be fucking careful. And then that's when he kind of won the third round, I think.
No, you guys are right, but don't you think that him saying that whole thing of like, don't listen to anybody else, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Don't you think that makes it seem like maybe he listened to outside advice that he took too much to heart, thinking that maybe this game plan that I usually do, which is just do what I do best, and whatever they're going to do, I'm going to have a game plan for it. I'm going to figure it out, which is what normally he does. And in this one, it was more like, well, I need to defend the wrestling, and I need to take wrestling to him to kind of, get him off balance and be defensive. And to me, I think that's where that's where you see where it wasn't what Conor normally does. And I saw that in the fight as well. Like he wasn't loose. He wasn't moving. He wasn't doing a lot of things that we're so used to seeing in Conor. And like you said, even though, you switch up the game plan for each fighter, he has, and he still doesn't look this off to me. And to me, I agree with you, Fred. I think he bought a lot of the hype that he had behind him. And I think he bought into somebody else telling him, man, you're so good. You can wrestle with him. You could do what you could learn the wrestling, and you could be the best, and you could out wrestle him. And then he's like, well, yeah, I am Conor McGregor, so I could do it too. And,
well, so you're saying he might be surrounded by a bunch of yes men.
Well, but the problem is he was saying the opposite. See, this is what I'm saying. Conor was saying that he didn't give his offensive wrestling enough credit. I see that differently. I think you gave your offensive wrestling too much credit, fool. Like, I think you thought you was gonna do something that you ain't got a shot in the dark at doing. Like, again, I don't agree with that part of it. I get some of what he's saying, but that part of it, I think that was a bit of your downfall. Him not respecting Khabib's stand-up is obvious.
Right, but do you think a lot of what he does is bravado and show? And I think that what in that statement, you see that what he normally does is he puts a lot of bravado and like, oh, well, he got blessed with a punch, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But there's truth in what he says, in that whole, like, I didn't respect it. I didn't take his stand up, like I should, blah, blah. Then he pulls some other like BS in there to kind of feed his own ego. And I think that whole line about like not listening to somebody else, I think that has the truth in it, in that he listened to other people and he didn't do what he normally does. And I think he's trying to save face and not make an excuse per se, but like save face and not saying, hey, I listened to Dylan Dennis because he's a great jiu-jitsu guy and, he got me ready for this fight. And I thought I was going to be a good wrestler. But instead he said listen to your own advice, Conor, but his whatever in round one, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
So real quick, 2 points on that. So first, with the whole listen to outside people, he mentioned he was too defensive minded. John Kavanaugh, not Brett Kavanaugh. Sorry, yeah. John Kavanaugh said the same thing on Rogan's podcast. He goes, I think we were too defensive minded. I think it was that. I think he was listening to his coaches too much. Not listening to his coaches too much. I think he acknowledged his game plan was flawed, was being too defensive, right? Now, as far as like so far the tone of the post, Priya Rose, I think just hit the nail on the head. She says, I think that his whole point was to give people a reason to think that the fight could go a completely different direction, like in a rematch. That might be the reason for the way the post is written.
I think it could.
Yeah,
I think it could, and that's not me being a Conor nut hugger.
No,
I think the first 2 rounds, I don't think it was that they were too defensive minded, man. I think Conor wasn't taking it seriously. And I know I'm not saying that if Conor took it seriously, he would wipe Khabib. Maybe Khabib still does that. I'm just saying that engaging Khabib in the grappling and then coming out with your hands at your waist again, like this fool is not capable of knocking the dog shit out of you, was just stupid. And then in round 3, the round ironically that he won, even if it was by a cunt hair, I think that was the one round where finally Conor came out and was actually fighting and paying attention and trying to not get hit and trying to not get taken down, actually fighting with some urgency. If Conor comes out and starts fighting like that from the word go, I'm not saying he would win. I'm just saying that I think the fight could look differently. I don't need him making up jive talk excuses about him winning the fight in round 1 and not the sporting competition. And, and then he wraps it up here at the end of the fucking little thing, real cute, that he makes a mistake. He gets my back and chokes me. Yeah. You skipped right through a bunch of shit, Conor, about how you blew the early rounds fucking off and then you got tired, which you always fucking do. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I love Conor, but there's some harsh truths that he's got to get to too. The fight could go differently, but he got to start keeping it more of a buck.
Eddie,
bullshit.
What up?
I don't know about you, but I'm not really a Conor supporter. I enjoy his fights and all that, but I'm not Fred. I'm not like, I'm not gonna buy his whiskey. I'm not gonna watch all his fights and watch every documentary, everything.
You say fuck the right way. You don't. You spell nothing correctly.
Look, I haven't seen the documentary. I've got none of his gear. I'm actually not that big of a Conor fan. I like the guy. I like watching.
But listen,
I appreciate it.
Here's the thing. I agree with Fred. The Conor McGregor that I saw against Eddie Alvarez, against Jose Aldo, that dude was so much different than what we got here. And I agree with Fred that in a second fight, I could honestly see a different outcome, or at least a different fight. And I just think that both, Kavanaugh and Conor are smart enough to know that they can't make the excuse of, well, we listened to somebody else, came up with the game plan, and we thought that this was the best game plan to go with. And I truly believe that both those guys understand that putting the blame on somebody else is not on what is it, like on brand, right? That's not what you would expect from either of those two guys. They take the blame, they take all the, they take the blame and they take all the credit when it happens. So I wouldn't expect them to put the blame on somebody else. Yet him saying that he shouldn't listen to somebody else, right, that is telling to me. That just means that he let somebody get in his ear, him and his coach probably.
Right. Real quick. And Dave Mann just putting this on in the comment section. He says, Askren just tweeted, "You're all in trouble." So I just looked it up. Askren tweeted 17 minutes ago, "Now you're all in big, big trouble." And then a gif of one of his old fights saying, "Anyone know another Russian that needs humbled the old country way?" Maybe this shit might be closer to being official than we think. So that's pretty cool. All right. And then real quick, I was going to. I'm gonna read round 3 and 4 because they're pretty. Well, round 4 is the longest one, but real quick on round 3, he says, round 3. After the worst round of my fighting career, I come back and win this round again, walking forward, walking him down, and willing to engage. Seemed like Khabib took that round off a little bit, ish, right?
I just feel like that was the first round that Conor was actually like, okay, let me be super serious. I mean, maybe Khabib did, but I was watching it from the perspective of a Conor fan. And I felt like when he came out in that round, that was the first time it was like, okay, Conor, cool. Now you decided that you're actually going to fight.
Right. All right. And then round 4. My recovery was not where it could have been here. That is my fault. That's every fucking fight. Yeah. Anyway, although winning the early exchanges in 4, he dips under again, and I end up in a bad position with over 3 on the clock. I basically got taken down. I worked to regain position and end up upright when I'm back on the fence, a stable position. Here, however, I made a critical error of abandoning my overhook at this crucial time, which he did fucking all fight long. Exposing the back, and I end up beating fair and square. What can I say? It was a great fight, and it was my pleasure. I will be back with my confidence high. I think that's telling, the confidence high part, but fully prepared. If it is not the rematch right away, no problem. I will face the next in line. It's all me always anyway. See you soon, my fighting fans. I love you all. And then a little heart emoji. Did it happen all to you guys that maybe he was trying to like talk himself into being confident before the fight?
Maybe.
No, I don't think he was trying to talk. I think he was a little too confident. I think he was drinking his own Kool-Aid. I think he thought he was actually going to walk right through Khabib. I think in that first round, he thought he was going to end up on top of Khabib and pound him out and do something that nobody's ever done. You know what I mean? Like, I took Khabib down, and like nobody's ever put him on his back. I put him on his back, and I think he really thought that shit. And then he was like, "Oh, well, that didn't work out. I'll still Bruce Lee him in round 2, though." And then whop, oh fuck me. I better fucking start getting serious.
Do you think I kind of can see what Eddie is saying? Do you think it's more like he was trying to convince himself that not doing what he normally does and listening to somebody else, somebody else's game plan, he was trying to convince himself that like this is gonna work. Instead of doing what you normally do what got you to the dance, we're gonna do something different, and that's gonna work too, because I'm Conor McGregor.
I mean, maybe it's easy at this point to just be like, "Yo, the game plan wasn't right. We'll tweak it and we'll do it better next time." I'm just judging on. I don't fuck what he said his game plan was. I'm judging on what I saw him do in that fight. I don't know what the fuck their game plan was. Defensive wrestling, offensive wrestling. I seen him trying to check some oil he shouldn't have been checking. You understand me? And then I seen him walking with your hand. What's the first thing you get told by any motherfucker that don't know nothing about fighting? Put your hands up. Everybody's dumbass one-eyed uncle and grandpa tell you put your fucking hands up. Put your fucking hands up. Unless you are indeed Bruce Lee, unless you are indeed Anderson Silva from fucking 2004, put your fucking hands up.
Exactly. All right. Anything else on this one before we move on to just this weekend's?
No, fuck that shit. We got way too much of a time on a Conor tirade, anyways. Let's get to the good shit. You understand me? What we got going on?
All right, real quick. Let's talk UC 230 real quick, just to fucking finalize. I guess the card's finalized because it's in fucking 2 weeks. No, it's not in this week. It's next weekend, right? November 3rd. Yeah. So
yeah.
All right. So this is your main card. Kicks off with Derek Brunson against the Stylebender Israel Adesanya, which actually is not a bad fight because they don't like each other. Yeah, and Israel's fucking angry shit at that dude. Then you got Carl Roberson against Jack Marshman.
I'll take it.
What up?
That's it. I'll take it.
Yeah, all right. And then David Branch against Jared Cannonier.
Hey, shit happens. This obviously got broken up because of another fight, so I'll take it.
And then here's one where, yeah. So then injury takes Luke Thomas. Luke Thomas won't fight anybody. Luke Rockhold, right? Luke Rockhold. I can't even talk right now. Take Luke Rockhold out, undisclosed injury for the Weidman rematch. It's Chris Weidman against Jacare Salva stepping in on short notice. Pretty good fight, I think. Main event: Daniel Cormier against Derek Lewis, with everyone pretty much writing off Derek Lewis, barring a fucking wild and like knockout punch, which I think is quite possible.
Yeah, I'm thinking about putting a hundo on Derek Lewis just because the universe might be on her period. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
And she's just going to blow some bullshit at us. And DL's going to land one of them big fucking goddamn right hands. Yeah. DC gets put to sleep and the whole fucking world goes, God damn it.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have lined that fight up. Motherfuckers.
Other than like DC taking him down, like Derek Lewis could land that punch. Like if DC takes him down, just beats him over the ground, okay, then you're on something there. But as far as Derek Lewis, he could fucking land that punch. But that's your UFC 230. A lot of people shitting on the card. I mean, hell, Dave Madden made a fucking meme of like Dana White. I tweeted Dana White basically apologizing for 230 being shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Dave do be hating though.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's still funny. Like,
it's funny, but he be hating.
But they cornered themselves into what we have now, right? I mean, they were going to give us not what we wanted in the main event. They kept lowballing Diaz. You know, they painted themselves into this corner, relying too much on Diaz and undisclosed John Jones possibly fighting on that card. So,
listen, let's keep it a buck right now. We've got DC versus Derek Lewis, and we've got Jacare versus Chris Weidman.
Yeah.
What did we have a few weeks ago? We had fucking what? Sahara Eubanks versus
right, it's better.
Some other unknown broad, and then we did have Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier.
And Rockhold and Weidman.
That's true. We
Like,
have
best case scenario would have.
Jesse, why can't you just shut the fuck up and let motherfucker do some shit sometimes?
I'm sorry.
Best case scenario would have been like if you could keep Dustin and Nate as a co-main, have DC Derek
Either way,
in the main.
we're still in an okay spot right now.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Weidman and Jacare's fun. DC and Lewis might not be the most competitive fight in the world, but somebody's gonna bleed. Stylebender and Derek Brunson will be fun and competitive and actually telling for the division. So I mean, all
right, let's
babies.
As you say, Fred, let's keep it funky. Is this worth your money as a pay-per-view?
Of course not. It ain't been worth my money for a month of Sundays. But I mean, I paid for worse. You know what I mean? Like I've definitely bought worse cards than this. So I don't feel that bad buying this one. Like this ain't the
man, look,
man.
This isn't gonna be the $50 people are gonna be dropping. I can't believe they're gonna be dropping on Ortiz Liddell 3. Okay.
No. You don't have to drop. I think you can get like a $15 discount by some code that they posted, so you could get it for cheaper.
What? Really?
Yeah. Go to. I think I think Tito Ortiz posted something about getting some code.
Whatever,
you can get it cheaper.
You know what's gonna happen? The fucking Friday night before the. I don't know if it's a Friday or Saturday event, but they said that the night before the event, they're gonna realize like no one's prepaid for this fucking pay-per-view. We're kind of fucked here. It's gonna be like a comedy, a comedian going to town, expecting a big turnout and having to give away fucking tickets for his show.
No. We're not gonna do our boy Ricky like that.
I know, but still
for Ricky's fight, and then after that, everybody can leave.
There you go. All right, and then obviously this weekend we have I think it's in Canada, right?
Yep, and some weird town name. What's the name? No. It's got a weird name. What is it? Monk
some shit. Regardless,
Moncton or something like that.
Hold on, I'm pulling it. Hold on, wait. There's somebody in the fucking comments has to be able to say this shit. All right, if anyone in the comments knows how to say this shit, fucking type out the pronunciation, okay? If you know it. But it looks like Moncton, whatever. Headlined by Volkan Ozdemir against Anthony Lionheart Smith. I love the poster because they put Ozdemir's as his shortest or his quickest knockout, and they put Lionheart Smith's quickest knockout time, right? Both of them. I'm like, you just jinxed yourself right there. This shit's going 5 rounds.
Oh yeah, for sure.
5 rounds now because you keep talking all that shit. Like someone's definitely anytime anyone goes, don't blink, someone's gonna get knocked out. You're about to have some dry fucking eyes. You about to need some clear eyes and shit, and not because you have, motherfucker, because your eyes gonna be hurting from going. I'm not gonna blink. Did it happen? 25 minutes later, you're fucking dying. All right, motherfucker. Anyway, co-main event is Michael Johnson stepping in for the fucking other Russian cat against Artem Lubov. Then Misha Serkinov taking on Patrick Cummins. Andre Sukit. How do you say that? Say this shit, Jesse.
Sukatov.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
Hey.
He got one against Jonathan Martinez. Then John Bionte against Ed Herman, who I didn't fucking realize was still fighting.
Hey.
Alex Garcia against Court McGee. And that's your 6-fight main card. Nordine Tabb's on here. Sean Strickland's on here. Other names that we can fucking throw out here. Sam Morales is still fighting. Okay, against Alita Bernardo. And, Stevie Ray's starting the whole night off against Justin Ayari.
Okay.
So, not a bad free fight, free as far as cable goes. FS1.
FS1.
Yeah, remember FS2 is the prelims. We got baseball playoffs going on. I don't know who's fucking broadcasting it. Baseball playoffs still going on, right? Is that what we're talking about right now?
The Dodgers against Boston.
Wait, Dodgers Boston. That's World Series. They can't play each other in divisions.
Yeah. It's the World Series.
This is the World Series, right?
Yes.
No shit. Whatever happened to all the Yankee fans talking all that shit? Like they're gonna make it to the World Series this year.
That's why you didn't hear anything about it because they got real quiet.
Nobody knows if it's even a thing.
Because they shut the fuck up real quick. Honestly, dude, I couldn't believe that fucking baseball's still going on. Like
Look at fucking Jesse running around with his chest poked out. You got all your fucking LA Dodgers gear on out there, young man?
No. Listen, my brother-in-law, my wife's family, they're big Dodger fans. That's why I went to the Dodger game. So I support my family, man. Whatever. It's fun. I don't have to watch 162 games, so I can just watch a couple at the end of the year. I'm good.
That's my number one.
Tedious, Jack.
That's my number one. My number one gripe against baseball is too many fucking games, and they take too goddamn long. They're too goddamn slow. That's it. So
yeah, that's why I like football
Baseball
better. You know,
is like the Ben Stein of sports.
oh my god, that's so goddamn accurate. It's kind of sad.
Swing and a miss.
There you go. Oh, this fucking Dave Madden puts in the comments. He goes, Eddie just found out that the World Series started. # Team MMA. Yeah, no, legit. I didn't know it was still going on.
I had no fucking idea.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear something funny? If you ever get a chance, go online and go listen to, I think, Ben Scully, just him ranting about random stuff during baseball games. This dude goes deep on like haircuts, on mustaches, like. It just goes to show you how slow the game of baseball is, because, you know, one of the best broadcaster has to like kill time in between what's going on. And he's telling this whole grandiose story about like whatever he's talking about. And then in between, it's so hilarious. He'll be like, swing and a miss, ball 2. And then he'll go back to the story. It's hilarious.
Back in our car, right?
yeah. If you ever get a chance, go listen to some of that stuff. It's pretty amazing.
There's an art form to
that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so that's your card this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, an FS1. All right, boys. Predictions of the main event: Ozdemir against Anthony Smith. Fred, who you taking?
Ozdemir. Those fucking European pricks are tough.
Jesse.
Smith. I think time has run out for no time.
Well,
yeah, I'm taking Smith as well. I like Lanhart, so well, I don't know. Hopefully that poster didn't totally jinx that main event, but that'd be
what
great
is
to
he
see
fucking half Mexican or something? He's got some Latin in him. What are you both of you pricks picking?
Nah, dude, he's white as fuck. But
is he white?
Yeah.
He might be a Trump supporter, so I don't know. I'm pretty skittish on my pick there.
Hey, look, man, I don't bring politics into my fighting, okay? The second you start doing that shit, then we're gonna have it. Well, I mean, Kobe brought that shit in, but I think he's full of shit.
Side note, I was thinking about this the other day. You know who almost has to be an absolute Trump supporter, but I swear we all love him and don't think nothing of it.
Who?
Chael Sonnen.
Oh, 100% he is.
Oh, he's a super Trump supporter.
And you know what? He don't never say it because I don't hate him.
Yeah.
I watch all his material. I always am watching his shit. I've never heard him. I'm sure.
Do you listen to his podcast?
I mean, the snippets I find on YouTube, I don't watch the whole thing. You know what I mean?
No, you got to go to his podcast.
I just listen to when he's talking about fights and shit like that.
What's it called? You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. If you go to his podcast, you're welcome. You'll get a whole buttload of Trump support, Trump apologists, all that stuff.
Really?
So
okay. I never noticed it. I'm like,
I used to listen to a show and it got so bad I had to just not listen to it anymore. That's why. That's why
I take it back. I retract it. Fuck you then, Chael. You bitch.
I honestly don't care about like fighters like political opinions whatsoever. But like as far as politics goes, like I don't think I listen to any like fighters' opinions. Other than
you know what?
Whatever.
The only one it was who was the idiot that threatened the president in the octagon?
Huh?
Do you remember that? Like after his fight, he's like, "What? Who's next for you?" He's like, "I'm gonna kick Obama's ass" or something like that. And then he got a visit from the FBI the following couple days.
Oh, I can't remember who that is.
It was somebody in the comments will probably remember, but
Jacob Volkman.
Yes, I think.
Yeah, Volkman. That was a while ago.
Yeah,
you're right. Okay, I didn't know. Okay, you know, on that, fucking who was someone else got the same thing, but it was like a celebrity. Fucking never mind. No, but fucking who was it? The Carney. Who's the Carney?
Oh, Nick Lentz.
Nick Lentz is just like. Didn't he say something like Brett Kavanaugh was my homeboy? I fucking died. All right, look, feel what you want about the whole situation. I died laughing because I was like, "You're a homeboy, dude." I don't know.
Nothing tops Derek Lewis saying that Trump called him and said he got to get this Russian the hell out of here. Russian make him look bad.
Yeah. Look,
a title shot though.
No, there you go. Hey man, my balls is hot. Got him a title. Balls is hot. Got him a title shot. The fuck.
Yeah. On a real note, man, Derek Lewis is a cool story.
Hell
that
yeah.
dude has been himself. He's never claimed to be the greatest fighter in the world. He's always just said he wants to come out and fucking be entertaining, make as much money as possible. And it's talked him all the way into a title shot, going to make him a millionaire. He's almost assuredly going to lose this fight. And how much will it hurt his legacy or anything to people like us? Not one iota. If Daniel Cormier goes out there and knocks him out in one punch, you know how much less I'll think of Derek Lewis? Absolutely none.
Nothing.
Like, you talk about a motherfucker that's got nothing to lose in a fight. Like, I expect him to get absolutely thrashed, and it won't matter one bit. So, and he's still going to get fucking paid. Like, good job.
Hey, honestly, shout out to Derek Lewis over there. What was it in Texas? Saving racist white people.
Yeah, he was like picking him up, putting him in his big ass pickup
truck.
Yo,
did you see he had posted a video on social media? He was at like a I think Jeremiah might have posted the video on Facebook in his group.
The chick.
Yeah, the chick that was doing some blow at a Houston Rockets game or maybe a baseball game. They were at some fucking hockey. They were at some sporting event. And Derek Lewis had the phone on her, and that hoe did a little bump, Jack, right there for everybody. And then Derek Lewis kind of panned the phone up to himself, like, Jesus.
Shit, no. And then it was the other one. Someone was he was at the media scrum. He was doing a media scrum, and I know the girl's name. I'm not gonna throw it out here like that. Okay, but you know, she got a low cut dress on or shirt, blouse, whatever you want to call it. And he's like, he's trying to answer questions. He keeps looking down, like he keeps just looking down at his shirt over and over again. And I'm like, man, you can't even focus, dog. Like, but that's why you love him. That's why you love Derek Lewis. He's a fan favorite.
I thought you were going to talk about the time where at the media conference, he was talking about how he does steroids and stuff. And they were like, what? You do steroids? He's like, did I just out myself or something? I shouldn't have said that. And then he's like, starts cracking up because everybody takes him like seriously at that time. He's great, man. He's funny, dude.
It was DC. He goes, hey, man, this guy said he's going to knock me on the back. Told me I was tiny or I was smaller. And he goes, man, he disrespected that Popeye's chicken. Yeah, so I like funny, and I'm a fan of funny people. So him being funny goes a long way for me. But
listen, you know, of all the people who are not doing steroids, it's not Derek Lewis, Jack.
There you go,
Derek Lewis. Nah, I bet my left fucking nut, Derek Lewis is not doing steroids. He's the one that definitely ain't.
Oh. If it ever happens, I don't know how you're going to pay that bet, Fred.
He was a jinx. Jinx.
Listen, that's the 100% sureness.
There you go. All right, boys. Anything else you guys want to hit before we head out of here?
Are we going to do 6 minutes with Fred fixing the country?
Oh, you guys want to actually? Okay.
We can do that. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Listen, here's what we're going to do. All right. So Trump's plan is to build this wall, right? Keep out the Mexicans. That's basically the idea. Okay. So why do the fucking Mexicans want to come to America in the first place? They don't want to come here because they've seen a brochure about Montana and a couple fucking cows and they thought that looked real cool. They're coming because their fucking country is, goddamn it, war torn, and more importantly and more accurately, fucking taken over by a goddamn it drug cartel. So how much money do you think it would take to build that wall? Ballpark.
Fuck, dude, billions, man.
Billions, right? Billions. 2, 3, 5, 10 billion, maybe, right? What if we took all that money and actually invested it into Mexico? Into going, like, so why are all these people moving, right? The cartel literally owns and operates big parts of Mexico where they'll literally cut your fucking head off. Now, the cartel is dangerous and they're cute, but compared to like the U.S. military, the cartel ain't shit.
Right.
If the U.S. decided to take billions of dollars and the goddamn it Marines and the Army down to Mexico, the goddamn it Los Costa, whatever the fuck would be giving up shit real quick, fast, and in a hurry. And if you just devoted all those funds into making Mexico a dope ass place, because it is beautiful, rich with culture, and it ain't like Mexicans, like I said, they're not dying to be American. They're dying to have a shot and an opportunity. If they had that at home, look, do we have a problem with Canada? Are Canadians just fucking fighting to get down here? No. You think that's a coinky dink, you fucking shitbirds? Like, the only reason the Mexicans are coming is because shit is fucked up down there. If we took the money and just fixed that, I would assume a lot of Mexicans would have stayed. And a whole bunch of other Americans would feel safe to go down there and spend fucking tourism dollars and economic dollars. And I'd go even one further since I'm fucking on a rant right now. If I was the king, I would want to fucking drop the borders. Canada, Mexico, and fucking America. All one fucking power group. Suck on that, China and Russia. Wow, bitches. That'd be a power move for their ass.
Damn, that man bun is real tight on your head, huh?
I'm just saying. Now listen, I realize that, all due respect to the Mexicans on the panel, a lot of the problem with what's going on in Mexico is that the government is super corrupt, and it's not just the cartels. It's a lot of corruption in the government that allows the cartels to do that. But hypothetically, if we could go down there and actually do the right fucking thing and help clean that shit out, get the right people in the government, at least to the point where it would run like America, we fucked up as fuck too, but it ain't that goddamn bad. So put some people in that are just as fucked up as we are, but normal enough to at least let the fucking society thrive a bit, to where shitbirds like us exist, where we at least, you know, they think they getting by or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? To where motherfuckers ain't wanting to leave, whatever Canada's doing, like something along those lines. Putting up a wall is just fucking stupid. That's not getting to the actual problem. There's a reason why Mexicans are coming here. Like, that's what we need to fix.
Let me ask you a question, Fred. Do you know what the number one problem in America is right now? I'm sure you know. I'm sure you do.
Heroin?
Prescription drugs, correct?
Opioids in general?
Opioids, right?
Yeah.
No, do you know why that's such a problem?
Weed's illegal.
No, because Americans, and you can go to any other country and they find us weird in this sense. When you go to the doctor and you have a problem, the first thing the doctor does is bust out his little pad and gives you something for it. Whether it's pain, whether it's because you're sad, whether it's because, you know, your pinky toe, you stubbed it and it hurts, they're going to give you some kind of medicine. And the problem here is that we think by solving or helping the pain or whatever is going to help the problem. We attack the symptom and not the problem. And this is what the wall is. This is just what America is. We attack, we attack the symptom by saying, oh, we're going to put up a wall. That'll help. Yeah, that's not going to do nothing. Like you said, Fred, it's not going to do nothing, but it's right on par. It's right like what America is all about. Like, we're going to put a Band-Aid on it and we're going to call it a success.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I see where you're going with that.
Ever since it came out, this wall thing, I'm like, go ahead, build it. Build it. That way, when it's all done and all paid for and shit like that, Mexico ain't gonna pay for it. When it's all paid for and everything, we can sit back and be like, okay, what did it accomplish?
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. You're really underestimating human ingenuity. They're gonna get through. Like, where there is a will, there is a way, motherfucker. They gonna come through. Like, you don't know what it's like to live down there in danger and fucking, like, they're not staying there. Like, humans are some crap. You gotta take all that race shit away. That's stupid. Mm-hmm. Human beings, when we are put to it, are crafty. And them motherfuckers down there are put in some fucking dire situations in their lives, man. They are going to find a way to get in this country, dog. They're not going to be held down. They're not going to lay there and fucking get murdered. They're going to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, look at right now what's happening in Mexico. The Guatemalans, right? Look how far Guatemala is from Mexico, and
exactly,
they are getting there.
They showed up at the doorstep like, "What's up, baby? Y'all got it bad. We got it worse. We coming in through the back door." Tell Donald Trump he just got 1 million more visitors because it's real fucked up back there.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't see the way that the rhetoric and all the political talk's been going on. I don't see any way that they're gonna be able to come up with like a common sense thing. I mean, look, put up the wall has gotten so much fucking traction that people lost common sense. They don't think like, okay, put up a wall. What are they gonna do? They're gonna ground. They're gonna put the hole in that shit.
It is bad that there's so much fucked up shit going on though. Like you said, like Guatemala now. Now you got a country that's so fucked up, they leaving and fleeing to go to Mexico. Mm-hmm. It's like, damn, I wish I just had like a couple dragons, like Game of Thrones. You can just ride a dragon over to Guatemala. Like, what the fuck is up, bitch? Yeah, we got a bunch of other shit we can't have y'all fucking up. Like, y'all better fucking treat these people right, man. What the fuck?
Fix this shit. So,
God damn.
It's real quick, Joe. Are we done with this topic? Because Jeremiah reminded me of a fight we didn't talk about.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. I thought we lost all the MMA fans at this point.
No, we lost a few. Like everyone's talking about, oh, Gary Cosin on here. Gary Cosin saying this damn dude. So yeah, Gary, what up?
Oh, man, tell Gary to go study.
Hey.
What?
I'm a fan of Gary, but his vote against Drake's back-to-back really hurt my soul. That really hurt my soul, Fred.
Who do you vote for?
You gotta talk to him.
Common over back-to-back. I enjoy Common. He had a diss track about Ice Cube called "The Bitch in You." I like that diss track, but saying that it was a better diss track than back-to-back from Drake. These fucking guys I do the show with, I'm telling you.
Hey, just the fact that song won a Grammy and it's a diss track, that should be enough to win.
Damn, I didn't even know that little piece of information. I didn't know it won a Grammy.
Fuck, dude.
Or it was nominated for a Grammy. Either one. Okay. Either way, that's an
either way. That's an accomplishment.
Let's see. Priya says we should have something like Europe and does with Canada and not needing passports in between them, all like the European Union. That'd be a good idea. Their government has to be on board, not be corrupt, or it won't work, bro. Talking about going in to fix it. That's 100% true.
Sure, for sure.
The government needs to be fixed.
Oh shit. It is what it is, motherfucker. Then let's do the fucking goddamn thing, man. Old school King Roman style. Y'all motherfuckers, the jig is up, baby. If y'all motherfuckers have been down here fucking around, we about to start killing people. Like y'all cutting people's heads off on the street. Cool beans. If we find out that you're a fucking senator in Mexico and you're fucking corrupt, we're fucking shooting you on sight. Fuck it. Like,
hey,
I mean, because it's not where, like, all joking aside, I know you can't do that, but it would be nice to have some sort of diplomatic agreement. Like, yo, y'all's government needs to chill. Or we'll fucking make you chill. Like, we'll go to war with y'all just to get out y'all's fucking corrupt government so that we can help y'all, because something's got to fucking happen. Yeah. We got this goofy motherfucker talking about putting a wall up. We don't need no fucking wall. We need to utilize Mexico. It's a beautiful southern part of basically our same country.
Right.
Like, that's our fucking southern neighbor. Like I said,
continent.
Canada, we don't got this issue with them. They find a way to make their shit work. It's like Mexico just needs a little love, man. They need to get that fucking the corruption that they got in their government gone, and the goddamn cartels. Y'all need to chill. It's a whole bunch of drug dealers in America getting paid, doing their thing. Y'all just can't flaunt it like that. You can't take over cities, Jack.
Yeah.
You motherfuckers got to do it like we do it. You got to operate in the shadows.
Yep.
Fuck, you can't just take over a whole town. You got greedy.
Yeah, and then here's a good point by Raider, because I was talking about legalized weed. She goes, Raider says, we legalize weed here in California, and the taxes are going to a quote-unquote general fund. Our politicians here straight up raping us. Yeah, it's a lot of fuckery with that stuff. But
yeah, I know, and that's a big fucking problem too, man. Is these fucking and I don't even know what you really say about that.
Yeah,
except raise your fucking kids to be politicians, and hopefully they don't get their soul eaten, and they can get in there and maybe do the right thing. Exactly. You know, other than that, there's none of us that can make these fucking politicians do the right thing. It's still the right thing.
Right.
The tax money's there. Of course, you got some ignorant fucking soulless humans that are probably keeping it and getting fucking hand jobs in Chinatown with it. That's what I'd be doing. But
shit,
you know, fucking if somebody actually was doing the right shit with it, the taxes are there. It's there to be had. Just fucking can't trust human beings.
Right. Like, it needs, in my opinion, it needs to be like right. All that, if not all of it, most of the tax money needs to go straight to education, because we got a bunch of dumbass fucking kids in this country.
Maybe we will be better if we just had cyborgs. Like, let's just get that. Humans are so trash. We should just.
Yeah. We're
so fucking last generation. We're fucking ignorant, useless shitbirds, anyways, man. Let's just start fucking breeding with the cyborgs and let Darwin do its thing.
Oh yeah, Darwin's in full effect right now. So what are you gonna do? All right, real quick, Jeremiah brought this up. Fedor against Ryan Bader for the Grand Prix championship, or the heavyweight championship.
Yeah,
Bellator. Ryan Bader, a chance to be a double champ. First, I think he'd be the first Bellator double champ. And then Fedor, I mean, to be back on top of the heavyweight, discussion is best ever, probably. What do you think of that, Fred?
Being the first double champ in Bellator is like being the fourth guy to bang Kim Kardashian at the after party. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's cool that you did it, but it's still like, man, because it's low.
For the record, does that mean Fred would not want to be the fifth guy or the fourth guy?
Oh yeah, I mean, I would bang her if I was the ninth guy. Listen, I'm just happy to be at the party. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. I would like to be in Bellator. I would fight on Bellator's undercard. So I'm not making no bones about it. I'm just saying, like, it's not like you. Oh, I'm the champ. The heavyweight division that just got created. He's the champion of that one. That's cool.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Ryan Bader for wasting fucking 15 minutes of my night there on Friday night. I know I'm an ass fuck loser, but that fight was tedious to watch. He did win it, and he did cost me a little money, so I'm a bit biased. But I don't like watching those kind of fights. That was boring as shit. On the flip side, old Chel P and fucking Fedor showed that two old dogs can still be entertaining. That fight was at least fucking fun to watch while it lasted.
What the fuck was Chel? Oh my god! When he fucking had Fedor's back and he tried to roll him over, he didn't have the right grips on. It was fucking. No. You saw that shit go the wrong way from the get-go.
He's an idiot. He's an idiot. But these people talking about the fight being fixed, like fucking people are so quick to jump
out of here.
Yeah, hey, give it up to Chel for trying stuff. You know, when he tries stuff and
I just wish he didn't try that. I wish he would stay on top and just try to grind and pound him from there a little bit.
Listen, I agree with you, but that's how I like my fighters. Taking chances. Chel was in there taking chances against Fedor. Fedor's fuck. You see what happened right after he fucked that chance up? He got thunderstruck for it, but he was still willing to take a wild chance like that against Fedor. Man, that's why that fucking fight was exciting. Shout out.
Now let's think. Had that worked and had he choked out Fedor, yeah. So
right. It's risky. Okay, so now how do we see this fight going? I hope if there's any just goodness in the MMA universe left, old Fedor comes out and thunderstrikes silly ass Ryan Bader, and I will be just happy as a pig and fucking shit. But more than likely, what Bader did to Mitrione, he will slowly but surely do to Fedor too. I hope not, but that's what will probably happen because the MMA gods hate me so.
Yeah, Jesse, who are you picking?
I'm going with Bader. I think exactly what Fred is afraid of is more than likely what's going to happen. So,
all right. I am taking Mr. Fedor.
Hey now,
I'm just taking
wishful thinking.
It might be wishful thinking, but I don't know. Jeremiah says my two picks made it to the end. My heart wanted Fedor to win, but MMA knowledge wanted to pick Bader. But I'm going with Fedor first round TKO, and Raider agrees.
Oh,
you guys are worse than those people that were lined up to win that $1.6 billion or whatever. You guys are worse.
Somebody won that shit.
Was it you?
No, it wasn't me. But still, fucking, and I think it was somewhere around, somewhere in the East Coast.
North Carolina, I think it was, or something like that.
North or South Carolina, one of the Carolinas.
Yeah, one of those.
Anyway,
yeah, let's just not talk about
it. All right, boys. Anything else? Or you guys, we good?
No, we're good.
Yeah, I think that does it. I know you got to get to work. I know both of you Mexicans got to get to work for sure. I know you want one of your.
I got to get to bed. I work at 3 a.m. tomorrow, so I got to get to bed.
Out there breaking those stereotypes that Trump's trying to spread about your people.
Hey, those are good stereotypes. We bust ass. What up?
I was just gonna say, at the beginning of the show, I said Fred finally delivered my crack. His show is finally back. Go listen to it. It's always a good show to listen to. Breaks up the monotony of what I listen to during the week. So thank you, Fred, for dropping an episode. Please keep it going. And Eddie, your show that you're supposed to be doing, my friend, of the weekly stuff was very good. I'm missing it.
Appreciate it. I know. Look, man, it's supposed to. So I was doing this morning report thing, and the idea is to do it every night. But holy fuck, you guys know what it's like to have to do that shit every night. So I'm working on either having other people do it too, or just doing like a weekly catch up of all the or like a weekend catch up of the headlines. That's way easier because I don't fucking pay attention to any headlines on the weekend after an event. So I don't know. I'm fucking toying with a few different ideas, see what happens. But I actually got Fred's show queued up on my SoundCloud app, so I'm ready to go with that for the morning. All right, guys. Shout out Pierre Rose, Jeremiah Raider, hanging out here. Gary was here just to call Fred out a little bit. Dave Mann was hanging out. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the shout outs and everything. Yeah, and Frederick was here earlier, and everyone that tuned in, appreciate you guys. RepTheWarriors.com, get yourself some represent gear. They just dropped a Halloween shirt that's actually fire. I like it, so get yourself that some of that gear. And then SpicyPros.com, always representing here, helping us out. All right, Kirby's at Kirby_MMA, Jesse at Ep.119. I'm at Elo31, and the show is at Keyboard MMA. We will see you guys next week, hanging out. What the fuck? Hold up. What the fuck? Jeremiah goes, them fools spend the night at the house they work at. They bring microwaves in the whole night. I think he's talking about Mexicans.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We got it. Hey, we got to heat up our burrito somewhere.
Hey, dude, we are not going to let's go to the drive-thru and get some food real quick. We're about bringing fucking leftover rice, beans, and fucking caldo and chicken and shit. Whatever we got, it's going to be in a big fucking thing. Microwave it.
And that's fucking sweet and badass. Like, what's not to like about that? Fucking self-sufficient as fuck. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. I fuck with Mexicans.
There you go. All right, fellas. Y'all have a good night, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're on the planet. Good night, Wilshire.